Hey everyone, we are going into 4th Meridian Brewing Co. So let's go try some beer. Hey everyone, here we are at 4th Meridian Brewing Company with co-owner Helen Hoffman. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Awesome, I'm good, thank you. So we'll start off with you just telling us a bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I am one of the owners of 4th Meridian Brewing Company. My husband and I own this business together. We started it originally in a shop just outside of town back in late 2016, and we kind of just set up one step up from a hobby brew system there. And then in August of 2017, we moved to our first location here, which is just 3 units over from where we are today. And then we opened this location in February of this year. So we've just been here a few months.
And how's it been so far?
Really good, yeah. It's been a nice change. We have double the size of what we were working with before. So we've expanded substantially over the years. So yeah, it's been good. Things have been busy.
What was the inspiration behind starting the company?
Well, when we decided to start a craft brewery here in Lloyd, at the time there were no other craft breweries around, and it was kind of what I call like the start of the boom in this industry. So there was a lot of breweries starting up in Alberta, and the regulations behind what you needed to do to start a craft brewery had changed. So they eliminated minimum production requirements. So it allowed people like ourselves who didn't have the capital or maybe didn't want to take the risk of starting with a massive system to be able to start really small and grow in smaller steps and keep our risk level low and our initial startup costs as low as possible. So we had been traveling around a lot, in our young or mid-20s, I guess, to breweries all over the place, like in the States and in BC, and lots going on in Calgary that we had visited, and we just saw that it was something that would probably do really well in our community and that our community would really love and embrace, and they have. So we're still here 7 odd years later, I guess, still going. So
that's amazing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Quite the community here in Lloydminster.
It is, yeah.
Have you lived here your whole life?
I haven't. I moved here from Edmonton in 2011, and my husband moved here. He's originally from St. Walburg, which is about an hour northeast of here.
Oh, okay.
So he moved here right after he graduated high school. I'm guessing I'm going to age him now. In 2003. So it's essentially it's home for us now. Yeah, we've put our roots down here and raising our family here stuff too. So business and family are here. It's now home.
What do you think makes Lloydminster unique?
The people. I think if you asked anybody here what makes Lloydminster unique, that would probably be 99% of the time. That'd probably be their answer, I bet. It is a bit of a transient community. Like a lot of people come here essentially just for the work that work opportunities that are provided in this city. So most people are from somewhere else. A lot of people are from somewhere else, and really do whatever they can to try and make this feel like home and a place that they want to live and raise their families. So there's just really, really awesome people in this town. Aww. City, I guess. Here. Yeah.
And you probably get to meet a lot of them with the company as well.
We do. We have great customers. We have great clientele, and we get to collaborate with a lot of other local businesses, which is awesome. So yeah, we have a lot of great people around here.
You mentioned you traveled to breweries all over the place. Mm-hmm. Do you know a lot about craft beer, or where did your knowledge kind of
learned as we went. When we originally started, we had another business partner who was a home brewer.
Oh, okay.
And so the knowledge behind the actual brewing process started there with him. And but as far as learning the business side of things, that's just been learning as we go. And even the brewing process, it's tweaking things here and there, and technology is always changing, and so we're a lot of hands-on learning.
Yeah, for sure. And starting a business, what was that process like of starting a company?
It was tricky. It still is. I don't know that we have it figured out by any stretch of the imagination, but There's a lot that goes into, like, a lot that you have to consider in starting a business, but essentially it just kind of came down to like, well, we won't know unless we try. So let's just try and see if we can solve the problems we encounter as we go. And that's kind of been our motto.
What would you say has been the biggest challenge in opening a business?
We've had a lot of challenges. I don't know if there's one biggest one. We've had lots of different kinds of setbacks. Biggest hurdle. We acquired this space that we're in right now in April of 2023, and we had to do a lot of renovations and get the equipment in and installed, and we were set to open July 5th of 2023 and June 24th, so about 10 days before we opened, a fire broke out in the back of the building, like just behind in a garbage bin outside the building, and it came in and like destroyed probably 85% of everything in here. So we're still recovering from that. We've been able to restore the building, and we had to put a new roof on, get all the drywall, essentially everything except for what you see right here got ripped out, and then we've just been working at getting it all back in there and repaired and restored. So we're still not operational here. The equipment's still undergoing repairs and installations, but we are here for serving. So we're still manufacturing in our old space, which thankfully isn't very far. But that's been a big challenge. Like, working through that has been really, really difficult, and the insurance side of it hasn't been easy. So I've learned a lot going through that, and still going through that. I've learned a lot about how to deal with those kinds of surprises and challenges.
How to navigate it, for sure.
But yeah, it's just never ending. There's always, every day is a new challenge.
I'm so sorry that there was a fire. Well, I mean, this space that we're in looks great, so you would never know.
No, yeah, they did. The people that worked on it did a great job in restoring a lot. And thankfully the bar was just finished and it got to stay. They had to do a lot of cleaning and scrubbing, but this was good. This got to stay, so that was a big thing. But upstairs, everything was gutted down to the outer shell of the building, and so it's been a process.
A continual learning process, for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's totally worth it.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is. It's the journey, I guess. Yeah. We don't have a say in everything that happens to us, so sometimes you just have to deal with what your circumstances are, and I think that's what we've been doing for, I don't know, maybe this entire time. We just, we have a plan, but things happen, and you just deal with whatever challenges in front of you as best you can.
Exactly.
So that's what we've been doing. Thankfully, we're in the beer industry, so we can cope with a pint or two every now and then.
And on a lighter note, what would you say is the most rewarding part of?
I think just how we get to be part of our community and how we get to interact with the people in this community. We're constantly meeting new people and making new connections, getting to collaborate with other businesses or be involved with different organizations in different ways. And it just really makes us feel like we're an important part of this community, and our community members make us feel that way too. And that's probably the biggest reward. Just belonging, and maybe making a difference. Yeah. For
folks who haven't been here, how would you describe Fourth Meridian for them?
I would say we're a pretty casual, laid-back atmosphere. We're child-friendly, dog-friendly. We really do whatever we can to support art, music. So we do open mic nights the first and third Wednesday of the month. We have lots of local artwork up for sale in the tap room, where we don't take any cut from the artists. They just get the place to display their pieces and get 100% of their sales. And we're just a really all are welcome kind of atmosphere, and we try to make everyone feel like they're comfortable.
And the name Fourth Meridian, where did that kind of come from?
Our location. So this highway right here is technically the Fourth Meridian. So we're on the Fourth Meridian. So that is the Alberta-Saskatchewan highway. So as you know, or maybe this is news, Lloydminster is half in Saskatchewan, half in Alberta, right? So the highway that divides the city from Alberta side to Saskatchewan side is the Fourth Meridian, or Highway 17.
Oh, so it's that. I didn't know it was that way.
So if you are on the Alberta side, you are west of the Fourth Meridian. Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
In your legal land location. So you hear, so I guess a little more backstory there. My husband and I, we worked in oil and gas, and also farming communities around here often use that nomenclature, that naming system for their fields, like what field they're in. So when we were working in the oil and gas industry and you'd go out to a site, they used the Dominion Land Survey, which would say like Section 5, Township, whatever, west of the 4th Meridian if you're in Alberta. So it was just like a naming, specifically how sites are named and fields are named out here on that specific naming system, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, that's so cute.
Yeah.
And
So
like,
it was relevant to us, yeah.
Yeah, and I was gonna say I love the logo.
Yeah.
Like if you look at it, it's like the 2 4s.
That's
and I was
right.
Like, that's so
Yeah.
cute.
Or an M. Yeah.
Yeah, or the M.
Yeah.
Yeah. It works both ways.
It does, yeah.
So you and your husband both worked in oil and gas,
We did,
and then took the leap to kind of open this spot for the community.
Yeah.
What was the transition of kind of figuring out? Like, had you run a business in the past, or was this your
we
guys'
had
first?
our like truck, not this kind of business, no, just oil and gas based stuff. So this was very, very different. We'd never had any experience in any kind of like hospitality or food service, drinks or beverage service. None of it was 100% new. So that was a challenge. But we kept our jaw. Like when we opened this at our old location, we opened the tap room there. We continued working our regular jobs for a while until we kind of like felt like it was getting too busy. We need to focus on that for full time. So we didn't transition 100% right away. It was kind of a staggered transition to leaving that industry and coming to this fully.
Which was probably more helpful because you get
It
kind of like your
was,
feet wet as opposed to like head first.
That's right. Yeah. So we didn't 100% commit right off the start. So I don't know if that's the best advice, but it worked for us. We felt comfortable doing it that way. If I were to do it again, I'd still do it that way. So yeah, it was a staggered transition, but there was like a lot to learn and still learning as we go.
Absolutely. How would you say that 4th Meridian has kind of changed since the very beginning to now?
I don't know. That's a tough one. I think like people's palates have changed and their openness to trying craft beer has changed. So we've had like over the years from, day one, people coming in and say like, I don't know if I'm going to like anything here. I'm normally just like a Bud Light, Coors Light person. And now those same people are coming in drinking like our IPAs or porter, like, beers that they probably never would have ever thought to try. So I don't know if that's so much of we've changed or we've managed to change like people's preferences.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Adapting, getting people to step out of their comfort zone in a way that's comfortable for them, which I think is super important.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of that IPA, the porter, can you speak a bit about the beers that you carry?
Yeah, we have a very wide variety of beers. So we make like everything from a light lager to a sour, porter, fruity beers, IPAs, hazy IPA. Like we try to just, keep a wide variety of styles on hand. And we also end of December 2022, we also acquired another brewery, Ribstone Creek Brewery, which was located in Edgerton, about an hour or so southwest of here. So Ribstone Creek started back in 2012, and they were quite a big, very established brewery, and just kind of coming off the heels of COVID and remote location had some challenges that they were going through, and so that opportunity came to us to acquire that business. So now we have 2 brands, which is like expanded our lineup a lot and trying to keep up with brewing all of our different styles, the Ribstone stuff and 4th Meridian stuff, is a challenge, but we now have like so many different options of recipes to choose from and styles to choose from and preferences and things to do. So we have 15 taps here. We try and keep a couple that are non-beer options.
Oh, okay,
and
cool.
then, so we have a seltzer, gluten-free, we call it seltzer. It's technically a sparkling mead. We ferment honey and then infuse it with whatever fruit blend we choose to use.
Cool.
And then we also have one that's actually not ours. It's made by another local brewery / distillery. It's a gin smash made by Cold Lake Brewing and Distilling. So we keep that on tap as well, just to have 2 non-beer options. And then the rest are, like a variety of all different flavors and styles.
That's so inclusive. I love
Yeah,
that of you.
yeah.
Do you have a favorite beer that you carry?
I really like hazy, like the hazy IPAs. So we have, it's actually one of the Ripstone ones called Keeper's Point. That's probably one of my favorites. I also really like our Sparky IPA. But the really good flavors tend to go along with high alcohol content, which I'm like not great at handling these days. So I've got 2 small kids, so I'm like a half pint and that's it kind of person. So I have to really, really be sure that whatever beer I'm drinking, I'm like, I better love this. It's like, I only get like 1 shot at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm an IPA person. I really like IPAs, but I like to switch it up too. If it's winter, I'm game for a nice porter. Our border porter's great. Same with our Rig Up Red, kind of more ambery colored rye ale. So that's depends seasonal, I guess. But if I had to only drink one kind for the rest of my life, it'd probably be an IPA.
Can you speak a bit about the difference of like the hazy IPA versus the
regular
Sparky
IPA? Yes, our Sparky IPA is a West Coast IPA, so it's we don't like have a lot of that haze. Like it should be relatively clear, or at least we try to make it clear. Doesn't always work out, but it's got more of that like pine, sort of grapefruit, pink grapefruit, bitter finish to it. And then the hazy New England Pale Ale, what the Keeper's Point is more like tropical fruit notes. It's very hazy, like you wouldn't be able to see through the glass. It's more tropical fruit, very low bitterness. Like there's not that bitter pine finish. It's more like citrus fruit, but citrus or tropical fruit notes to it. Yeah. So those are 2 different styles, I guess. But we could go on for days about different flavors and styles of beer.
So those 2 beers, maybe for folks who maybe don't particularly love beer, they're not very beer forward, or are they?
I would say I find that the hazy New England Pale Ale, people that are normally like, I don't really like beer all that much, or like I find that they really just kind of don't like the bitterness of beer. And that hazy one seems to like surprise a lot of people because they think it's going to be this really weird complex beer, but they really like it because it's like doesn't have a very bitter finish to it, or there's like very little bitterness to it, and then they're very surprised how much they like it. And then on the flip side, like some people who are like myself and they really like IPAs also still like it because it's got that hop character, which is like what's giving it all the like fruity notes to it. But there's no fruit in it. It just comes from the hops that are in the beer. So
There's no fruit in it?
No, it's just from the hops. So there's like thousands probably different strains of hops that you can use in beer, and they all have different, it's like, your ingredients give you different outcomes, and so it's just the ingredients that go in it that kind of
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I did not know that. I thought, so like what are hops? Do you know?
This is just an ornamental little thing, but that we hang on our wall. But this is what hops look like. So it's a vine. It grows like a vine. And these are the hop cones. And you can use like a whole cone like that in beer, but we get pellets because they take these, basically dry them, condense them into like, so they're very, very, they're a lot stronger. Like we would have to use like 10 times the amount of these like cones versus how much we use in the pellet form.
Gotcha.
So when they process these, they turn them in, the way we use them anyway, they turn them into pellets, and we buy them in a pellet form. But yeah, these grow like BC, like kind of the Pacific Northwest. You can get some Alberta grown varieties as well, but it just depends what style of beer you're going for with what variety of hop you want to use, and yeah.
That's crazy.
So that's where those like fruity tones. I mean, some beers we do add fruit in, like our raspberry beer where there's raspberries in it. But yeah, those IPA, like the IPAs, the hazy ones that have those sort of tropical fruit flavors that there's no actual fruit in, that's where it's kind of coming from, is those.
That is so
hops.
interesting.
Yeah.
You learn something new every day.
Yeah,
I
there
did
you
not
go.
know that.
Okay.
Thank you for explaining
beer
that to me.
education.
Yeah. And then with that hazy IPA that you were talking about, if you had to pair it with like a snack, what do you think is the perfect snack to pair with it?
Oh, well, beer kind of pairs with like whatever you want it to pair with. There's no like, I'm not really particular about what I pair my beer with, but we are connected to a sushi and Korean food restaurant next door, so I find a lot of pairings with that. But yeah, I'm a big sushi fan, and then the Korean food too. It's usually a little bit more spicy and like that pairs, in general, that just pairs well with any kind of beer, I find. Helps to like cleanse the palate from spicy food too. So, yeah.
And then a little more technical for your tap room. What are hours of operations that folks can come?
Yeah, we're open Monday to Saturday. So Monday to Thursday, we're open from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. Friday, we're open from noon to 9. And then Saturday, we're open from noon to 8.
Awesome. Yeah. And then is the tap room here the only place they can purchase your beer?
We do have our beer in local liquor stores here in Lloyd. So quite a few of the liquor stores in town carry it. And then we are also starting to do a lot more online ordering as well. So people can actually, like if you're living elsewhere outside of this Lloydminster area and you want to have our beer at home, you can order it online. So we're still working on the online store right now. I'm hoping to have it fine-tuned in the next month or so, but I've been just getting a lot of people just directly message and say, hey, I want to try some of your beer, but I can't find it anywhere, and we just start a conversation and get an order in and get it shipped out. So
awesome.
Yeah,
That's
doing a lot of shipping lately. Yep.
Cool. Yeah. Where do you hope to see Fourth Meridian in, say, 5 years?
I don't know. I hope to see myself maybe in more of a retired position. I don't know. We have ambitions, but we just one day at a time, and we'll see where things are kind of headed, and let's get our system running first, and then kind of get an idea of what this business will look like, in a year's time from now and 5 years time from now. But we're kind of looking more just the next day and next month at a time right now.
If you could take it anywhere in the world, where would you want to take it?
Our business?
Yeah, you could open one in Hawaii or outer space.
Yeah, I would just probably want to be bought out for a lot of money and then go there. Go wherever I want, whenever I want. Yeah, that'd be the dream, I guess. But
maybe
in the meantime, we're having a lot of fun doing this. Yeah.
And that's what matters. Yeah. It's all about the experience.
That's right. Yeah.
And then last question, it doesn't have to be specific to the company or anything like that, but what would you say is the best piece of advice you've received throughout your life?
I feel like I've received a lot of unsolicited advice in my life. In running this business, I feel like I don't know that anyone's ever given me any advice that I've truly been wow, I'm so glad somebody told me that or advised me of that. No, I don't know that there's been any great advice that I could reflect back on and say that impacted me. I feel like we just figure it out, and the best thing we've ever done is just try it and see what happens and deal with the outcomes of our choices. And that's the way we've been going about life and business, I guess.
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. Okay.
Hi, everyone. So we are back, and we are doing a beer and sushi tasting. So if you want to explain.
Yeah, well, we're doing a few things. Yeah, we have many different kinds of beer to try and a few different food items from our neighboring business, Bamboo Sushi. So I opted for my favorites, which are spicy tuna rolls, which is just a small roll with spicy tuna and cucumber. And then their Pink Panther roll, which is actually a rice paper roll with smoked salmon and mango, and I think avocado in there. And then I also opted for the Korean chicken wings. So they're chicken wings with gochujang Korean spicy sauce. Ooh. And then she also gave us some salad rolls, which are a rice paper roll with mixed greens and shrimp. And she makes a spicy peanut dip to go with it. So
my goodness.
And then for beer, I did a wide variety as well that I find always goes well with the mix of stuff that I've chosen. So for your flight, I did our Bachelor Blonde, which is our flagship, lightest, easy drinking beer. Mm-hmm. And then I did the Ripstone Day Drifting Citrus. So it's a really light beer with lime in it. Ooh. Yeah, it's got lime zest and lime juice in it. And then I did the Great White Combine, which is, I call it a hoppy Hefeweizen. So it's a wheat beer. It's kind of got banana-y tropical notes to it, but it's also got kind of those citrusy hop notes. So tastes very fruity, no fruit in it.
Oh, I'm
excited. And then finishing with our cran cherry seltzer, the Mind Blast seltzer. So it's fermented honey with cranberry and cherry puree. And then for myself, I did kind of a similar like balance of things. I did the Ribstone Creek Lager, which is another really just a light, good palate cleanser. Like I will have that after a spicy tuna roll. And then I did a Rig Up Red, which is kind of like a malty red ale. It's got rye in it, and so it's kind of like a little bit more savory, I guess. And then I did our Pig Launcher, which is an amber pale ale. That's one that's got like little more of a sharp finish to it. Mm-hmm. Another good palate cleanser. Like I like that after the spicy wings. And then I'm ending with the Raspberry Berliner Weiss, which is a raspberry sour beer.
Ooh. Mm-hmm. So before we get into the food, can you kind of talk us a bit about your amazing cans and the artists?
So we have a lot of fun. Like our cans are quite fun and quite cartoony, I guess, if you will. So we, like I mentioned before, we have acquired Ribstone Creek Brewery. So the can artwork that you see on those cans were their original artwork. So we can't take any credit for that. Mm-hmm. But great artwork there as well. And then the Fourth Meridian ones, we have a local artist that does all our artwork, and her style is very much this like vibrant, colorful, cartoony kind of approach to everything. So our artwork is very bright and fun.
Yeah, it is very bright and fun. I love it. So.
You want to wet the palate first with a sip of beer. I will do the lager if you want to have a taste of the Bachelor Blonde. And now we're ready.
Oh, that's a lot like sweeter than I expected. It's very good.
Yeah, it's got a malty, like that sweetness is, we would say malty. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's just coming from like the grain we use.
Okay.
And just some residual sugar that's still in there. It's kind of like avoiding the bitter finish to it, but it's still quite light in body. So I guess dig in whatever you feel like your heart desires first. I'm a spicy tuna person myself, so that's gonna be where I go.
That looks pretty good.
Those are those small rolls. I don't know that I've ever eaten on camera.
Mm-hmm. It's an odd experience.
Yeah. I find if you get that lingering heat, a light beer or a hoppy beer is really good to like kind of chase that. Like if you're like kind of like, ooh, I'm getting a little warm. I like to cut that with like something light or something hoppy. And the reason I go hoppy is because hoppy's kind of bitter. So I think like spicy kind of, I don't know if I might be like way out to lunch personally.
Yeah.
But I have something spicy, having something bitter sort of like neutralizes it a little bit.
Yeah,
right?
you kind of focus on something else besides the spice.
Something else is hurting my tongue. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, that was really
good.
good.
So if you want to try something on your flight that's hoppy, a little bit hoppy, try that number 12, that Great White Combine. Okay. So that's this one, which we call it a white IPA. The style of beer or the type of yeast we used this batch made it more like Hefeweizen, which has got more of the banana clove kind of backbone to it. And I would go for the Pig Launcher, which is my like amber pale ale or IPA, and it's got that like sort of bitter finish to it. Mm-hmm.
So this one doesn't have any fruit in it.
No, but do you notice it tastes fruity?
I do.
Yeah.
Like it's very banana-y, like smooth like a banana. It's very... Yeah. Wow.
But yeah,
not mad at it.
No bananas in there. Not mad at it. Mm-hmm.
So how long did it take you to kind of get the ropes of the different
styles and everything?
Yeah.
Still working on it. And styles are always changing and ingredients are always changing. Availability of things is always changing year to year depending on, what hops are available and whatever. So I don't know that we'll ever have that like really perfected. It's something that like what's available, what can we make, and how can we make it the best we can.
Okay.
So like we had intended for that, what you just had a sip of, to be more of that IPA. Like we expected more of the hops to come through, and it didn't so much as the like banana-y taste came through. So
yeah, kind of like trial and error.
Dialing things in all the time and doing what we can. Yeah. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. That's so interesting.
Yeah. So I'm going to move on to the Pink Panther roll, which is that smoked salmon and avocado and mango.
Like sushi is like you can't take a little bite of sushi. You need to fit the whole thing in your
all
mouth,
or none.
So.
They're very fresh, like very simple ingredients, and it just tastes good. It's got that like sweet chili sauce on it.
And the mango?
Yeah, I know. That's so fresh tasting. Like, so that would pair like really well with really anything in your flight. Just that like fruitiness of the mango would. For me, I would probably stick with my like lager or the raspberry sour.
Okay, I want to try this one. You said this one was the cranberry.
Yeah, so
and
it's quite dry.
cherry.
It's not very sweet.
Okay.
We've fermented quite a bit. We've made it in previous batches where there is a little bit more residual sweetness. So I think just the combination of it being cranberry as well as cherry, and then also just it fermented fully.
Yeah.
So the no lingering sugar made it quite dry. And for mine, the raspberry sour, we actually sour. So in the brewing process, we make the beer and then we sour it with yogurt.
Oh.
For like 24 to 36 hours. So it brings the pH level down. Actually, like we do like half of the brewing process, and then put a bunch of yogurt in, and then the next day we come back and like boil it, kill all the bacteria and whatever. But the pH has already been lowered, and then we finish like with fermenting. So it has like an actual sour, like a sour taste. And most people say like it'll remind them of kombucha or something like that.
Okay, yeah. So this one is reminding me of wine.
Yeah,
is there a
it is,
reason?
because
wine?
it technically is a wine. It's a honey wine.
Okay.
So mead is fermented honey, and technically that's what we made. Although for us, because it's so carbonated and effervescent, that's not really typical of like a lot of meads. They're more usually higher alcohol content, usually less carbonation to them. So the other factors that we did specifically to that, even though it still qualifies as a mead, we choose not to call it that just because I feel like it's not what people expect when they think of a mead.
For sure.
So, so it is. There's no grain in it. It's completely gluten-free. It's fermented honey and then cranberry and cherry fruit purees in it. So that little bit of fermentation from that fruit as well. It makes it a little bit more like a fizzy wine.
Yeah, it's really good. I really like it.
Yeah.
Let me have a sip though.
Yeah, and mine is like we do. So like I was saying, we sour the beer first, then ferment it, and at the end of fermentation, we add raspberry puree to it.
And so how long is that process?
About a month.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, from start day one to like the beer being ready to serve, depending on the style of beer, it's anywhere from 3 to 4 weeks.
Okay. For some reason, I thought it was a lot longer.
Some can be. It depends on like the style. So some lagers will take more like 5 weeks to be like really ready at a point where you're like, yeah, this is now at its peak. It tastes absolutely the way you want it to.
Yeah.
Up until that point, it's like drinkable, but you're like, oh, there's some like lingering taste in there that's not quite gone yet.
Yeah.
And it takes a little while for those flavors to go, but yeah, for the most part, I think we're usually ready in about 3 to 4 weeks from the time we brew.
Nice. And so do you do the taste testing or do you have someone specific? Do the
I do a lot
brewers
of
do
taste
that?
testing.
Yeah.
I do a lot of taste testing. Yeah. But I mean, we all do. Like, everybody's palate's different. So anybody, like any one of us that are involved in what we decide to make here, and even like our front of house workers, getting that feedback is really important. So I might taste something you don't, or vice versa. And the more input you have, the more like you can consider, and when you're trying to develop a process or a recipe. So.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go for the spicy chicken wing.
Yeah, that's calling
they
my
are
name.
so tasty, and they've probably cooled down enough now for us to actually like dig into them. But they are really messy. So, again, this is gonna be weird to do on the camera to eat, but we'll do it.
I'm going straight in for
You're
it.
going for it.
Yeah.
Oh, that gochujang sauce is so good, though.
Oh, and it's like perfectly crispy too.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to have all of this sauce all over my mouth.
I don't think there's any good way to do it.
Yeah, no, I failed.
I've had these so many times. I'm like, there's no good way to eat these.
Oh, but they're so good. Like they're the type of food that you're like, it's okay.
You're like,
to
whatever,
get messy
just eat
for.
it. It's so good. Yeah. They're tasty.
They're so good.
That's got a good kick to it, too.
Okay, so what beer would you
Yeah, good question.
pair this with?
What do you feel like? That lime one might be a good one. So the day
That
drifting.
one's the 11, right?
Yeah, it's quite light, and it's just a hint of lime.
Come.
Yeah, like a hint of
I
citrus.
love like beer with my lime.
in there. Yeah, or lime with your beer.
Yes. Ooh.
Yeah. So it's like not super limey. It's just like as if you just squirted a little bit of lime wedge
Yeah.
in there. Hey? Yeah. I'm gonna go for the rig up red. So this one's sweet. It's like not sweet, I guess. It's malty, I should say. So we use malted rye
Okay.
in it, which gives it that kind of caramelly, like a caramelly flavor to it.
Oh. This is very good. It really does help with the spice.
It does,
a lot.
right?
Yeah.
Like people often say like, well, does beer and sushi go together? And I'm like, beer and anything go together.
No, you're
in
right.
my opinion. But like, what I prefer to have, like, if I were to have to pick, like, what my favorite things to pair from next door are, usually the spicier ones. But I've had everything. I mean, deep fried's good too. The tempura shrimp is great with this stuff, and
Yeah, mix and match.
totally. There. We're not quite open yet. Yeah, that's okay. We open at 4.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I just needed a gift card.
Okay, no problem. Okay, no, I can help you.
Could I walk you?
No problem. What do you call them? Salad rolls. And they got some little pieces of shrimp in them. Oh, that's not good. There we go. Mine kind of fell apart there. And then she does 2 different kinds of sauces. So this one's like a peanut
Thank you.
sauce, and then the other one she does is like a tahini one. It's really good too.
Ooh.
I like them both equally. I don't have a favorite.
I don't think I've ever had salad rolls. So.
Very tasty.
Very refreshing too.
Yeah, makes you like, you don't feel guilty about drinking the beer then. It's like it's a bunch of vegetables in here. It tastes so good. Yeah.
Oh, like this one, like a nice, like hot summer day with a
Right?
beer.
No,
Wow.
exactly. Yeah, that I would like. I like to have those with like IPAs just because it gives it a little more, like it's so light. And then like a nice big hoppy beer to chase it down with is good.
I don't think I tried this one, so we're gonna try this one.
Is that the Great White Combine? Yeah, that's the hoppy.
Oh, this is the one that tastes like the banana.
The banana
'Cause I'm
one,
like,
yeah.
this tastes familiar. Wow. I'm getting also like the tropical that you were talking about.
Like hard to nail down what fruit exactly, but you're like, I
Yeah.
don't know, sort of tropical fruit.
Thank you so much for sitting down with
Yeah.
us. This was so much fun. Thank you
No,
for
thanks
teaching
for
us all
coming.
about your beers.
Yeah, it's a blast. Yeah.
And, and sharing your
Love
favorite
sharing
meals with us.
Yep. Great. Thanks for enjoying this with me.
Hey everyone, so here we are at Bamboo Lloyd chatting with the owner, Lim.
Oh, hi.
How are you doing today?
I'm fantastic. Fantastic.
Awesome. I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking the time to sit down and
Oh,
talk to us
Thank
today.
you for doing this for me or for people.
Of
It's
course.
great. Yes.
So we'll start. You can just tell us a little bit about yourself or about your business or anything you'd like to share.
Yeah, but someone, probably many people knows that we started 2011.
2011.
It's the first sushi place in Lloyd.
Oh, really?
Not a place, but we, at the beginning, I delivered to door house.
Oh, okay.
It's since around 2 years. And I just move several around, move to other place, keep serving to the peoples. And then since Amanda sold the place, and then I moved to the downtown farmers market. It's an olive tree. I served around few years, and then it's a home hardware. Sarah invited me to, why don't you come my place in a cafe? You can make sushi for people. I'm so glad to hear that. So I go there, and around 3 years in home hardware, timber cafe. And then my place is vacancy long time, so I decided to make my own place. That's why I'm here, and yeah, people love it. I love it.
Yeah, Rochelle, one of our the girls that was with us, she was trying it along with Helen, and
Yeah.
they have like glowing things to say. And Sahar too, who's
Oh.
behind the camera right now. She also tried it, and she really enjoyed it.
Yeah, still not many people didn't try it, but if they once here try it, then they keep coming back. So which is very
It's a good sign.
happy with that.
Yeah, it means they like what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Where did you learn to make sushi?
Oh, I'm 99 in Canada with my 4 families.
Okay.
And then before coming in Canada, I in the cooking school 1 year. There I just learned the basics, so how to make a sushi and even how to make Korean food properly. and then we can move in Canada immigration here, and then I served 10 years serving for the families, only families, but later I can get bored. Make sense?
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
and
doing it
then
all the
I
time.
do something by myself, do something too. So that's
Yeah.
why I'm searching all the internet, what is the ingredient for the sushi rolls, and it's just come for the ideas from the internet and all my ideas. That's why it's so unique. Also, Lloydminster is not much people, try to sushi than big city, right? They don't know what is sushi is at the beginning, so I try to get no raw fish. They not many experience for the raw fish. They either try to cook the fish, and even the bacons in it. They love bacons and kind of
Love the
stuff.
bacon.
Kind of stuff. Keep developing until today. Last time I made some fish and chips roll.
Fish and chips roll?
Yeah, that's why Helen asked me why you try make some post brewing rolls. So I thinking about everywhere fish and chips. People's crazy about the fish and chips, right? Oh, okay. So I can make a fish and chips roll. It's good for the beer.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, I keep trying. I love to trying different
Things.
new things.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite roll that you make?
Oh, so I'm not much try my own rolls, but there is some special maki. It's a chopped scallop and with avocado in it. And this day I like Big Tiger. I always people recommend to the people Big Tiger roll, go Big Tiger roll. But yeah, I like that one. It's all cooked fish and kind of creamy and crunchy inside, and that one I like it.
And you had mentioned that you came to Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Have you always lived in Lloydminster?
No, beginning I live in Vancouver. We landed in Vancouver around 3-4 years, and then we looking for the business in Alberta side. There is a booming in Alberta economy, so our family moved in Alberta, and they start with there is the Riley, little big small village. There we doing some convenience store, and then my husband looking for his own work for the job. He's anyway technician, kind of dental technician.
Oh, cool.
That's why we looking for the reps in Lloydminster. There's none of Lloydminster, so we just 2010 December just we bought a house, and then set up the lab downstairs, and it is the beginning of the life in Lloydminster.
Aww.
Then since that we here around 15 years now. It's quite a long time. My all kids are grown up, and they went their own way, and so.
But you like Lloydminster?
Yeah, I so afraid of the beginning of I started this business. It's only me and Lloyd. It's kind of so scared, but so many nice people around me. I'm not gonna move nowhere. So I just stick in there whenever I can. As long as I can. I just love Lloydminster and all the people, especially my customers. I'm so lucky to have everybody, nice people around me. Yeah.
Aw, that's beautiful.
Yeah. Oh.
Well then, last question.
Yeah.
Is there, so it doesn't have to be about your business or anything, and you also don't have to answer it if you don't want to, but what is the best piece of advice you've received throughout your life?
Oh, it's a big question, but so I think I can say consistent. Consistent?
Yeah.
I'm very consistent person. Once you start, it's whatever doing good or doing bad, I doing consistent. I always want to say, I keep saying to my people, but consistent is best.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for
Oh.
sitting and talking.
Oh, thank you.
Hey everyone! So we just finished up at Fourth Meridian Brewing Co. as well as Bamboo Lloyd because the two businesses are connected, so you can go get sushi and get beer.
I recommend. It was delicious. I
Very
was the
good.
lucky one that got to try it on camera. It was delicious. Amazing.
Yeah, and both owners, Helen and Lim, are so sweet and
Yeah.
so nice and really great sharers and talking and open to chatting with you. So
They have a really cool environment, and you guys will see too in the clips. But even the upstairs, just like
The upstairs is
chilling
so
there
cool.
after work or something like that,
Yeah.
very cool.
The upstairs is very cool. Very vibey. It matches the art that they have on their cans, which is really cool. So in the video you also saw the cans. So yeah, check it out. Come get some sushi, come get some fried chicken, come get a nice beer with your lime. It's great.